What's up, everybody? Charlie Marlow here. Got to jump on, talk a little Cardinals. I was out of town, tell you about my experience at Cleveland Guardians opening day. And also, we got to discuss Tyler O'Neill a little bit, right? Okay, first off, last night, very impressive performance by Sonny Gray. Now, if you're watching or listening to the podcast last week, I said I wasn't a huge fan of Sonny Gray pitching in the majors on the pitch count for 65 pitches because I was thinking, look, you go 65 pitches, okay, you're thinking he gets through 5. What if he struggles a bit? All of a sudden, he's only throwing 4 innings. It taxes the bullpen. You got a day game next day. That was my take on it. And also, we discussed this. I kind of, in my head, had a little bit of that Jack Flaherty. Remember that Jack Flaherty a couple years ago where he wanted to throw in the bigs? Cards probably wanted another rehab. Jack was up there, didn't do well. John Mozeliak basically said, hey, it's also kind of about the player telling you how he's doing, how he's feeling. So that kind of played in a little bit to my thinking. But anyway, hey, I was wrong. It's all good. Sonny Gray was very impressive, gets through 5, gets the win. That was a fun game, exciting game. Bullpen gets out of some jams. Jojo Romero was awesome there in the pen. Ryan Helsley finishes it off. But really cool to finally see Sonny Gray make his debut. I know Cardinal fans, you guys out there are very excited when they signed him this offseason, even though, if, like me, you said, hey, you wanted somebody else. But, hey, for a front-end guy, Sonny Gray, pretty dang good. And I didn't really watch the post-game last night. I listened to the first half of the game on the radio, which is kind of fun. I'm driving back from Ohio. So I listened to the first half on the radio, watched the second half on TV. Did not watch the post-game. But I'm guessing next game probably pushing 80 pitches, and then so hopefully get through maybe 6 innings, 6 up downs next time, and then the following outing you'd think he's dang close to full strength to push it close to 100 pitches. So nice win against the Phillies. We'll see if and remember, and Zach Wheeler. Anytime you can beat Zach Wheeler, very, very impressive. So we'll see if the Cardinals can go ahead and finish off the deal and win the series against the Fightin' Phils. So right now at this point in the season, you're talking 500. I think that's a decent spot to be in. When you looked at the early season schedule, there's a very chance it could have went south. I guess in theory it still could, but just kind of getting through Dodgers, Padres, Marlins, Phillies here around 500. If that's the case, I don't think you can complain too much. Obviously, there's some people you're probably worried about more than others, and we can talk about Goldie and Jordan Walker and Nolan Arenado and all that. But also, I don't like to pretend because I was out of town Saturday, Sunday, Monday, drove back Tuesday. I wasn't really locked into watching the Cardinal game, so I'm not going to pretend like I was seeing the at-bats and all that. So there you go on that. By the way, so I'm at the Cleveland Guardians opener Monday. First of all, everybody was in the stadium early to see the eclipse, which was sweet. In the stadium, they were right there for that path of totality, and it was like 4 full minutes. All the players were down in the field watching it. It was pretty cool. I saw John Brebbia for the White Sox, Paul DeYoung now with the White Sox as well. So everybody's there for the eclipse. The eclipse was like 3:11 to 3:15, so kind of a weird game time. They had to take batting practice early because of the eclipse, and then the game's at 5. And I bring this up, so I think I've told people, one of my very good buddies, Dan Puente, assistant hitting coach for the Cleveland Guardians, first year. So we had about 10 people there to support him. Fun time with my buddies. But also, it makes you appreciate the Cardinals opening day. We always say this, it's true. But nobody does opening day better than the St. Louis Cardinals. And I'm trying to think about all the opening days I've been to. I've been to Detroit Tigers. I've been to Chicago White Sox. I've been to the Reds. I'd been to the Cleveland Indians back in the day, back in the 90s when they were really good. I don't remember exactly what it was like. Obviously, I remember 2 days ago, even though I was drinking. But what I'm trying to say is, so the eclipse was a different deal, but everything with the opening day, it's just not the same as St. Louis. Nobody does it as big with the trucks and the cars and the Hall of Famers and the Clydesdales. Like, they had a nice little ceremony out there, don't get me wrong. First pitch and all that, and the anthem was cool, but opening day Cleveland Guardians, and by the way, I I hate the name Cleveland Guardians. I think it's a terrible name. I think they should have went with Cleveland Spiders. I did buy a Guardians t-shirt, though, to support my buddy. So I think the Guardians, they're probably my favorite team now. I mean, I didn't grow up a Cardinals fan. I obviously I want the Cardinals to do well because for the city. And then maybe my kids will be Cardinal fans also. But I'm pretty neutral on the Cardinals, which I think is fair. Do you want a cheerleader for the Cardinals? Do you want a fanboy for the Cardinals? Is that what you people want? But anyway, so that was Cleveland won 4-0. Good game, quick game. Are these games too quick, by the way? We were watching the pitch clock, and man, that goes pretty quick as a pitcher. You got to get that ball and deliver it. I know people are talking about injuries, which I think that's a little overstated, but also I always say this. I want shorter games when I'm watching on TV every night. In like month 3 when you're on game 90, dog days, July, August. But I think if I go to a game, I don't necessarily want a short game. I don't really want a 2:30 game at the ballpark if I'm attending. Now, 2:45, 3. But then again, like if I'm watching on TV every night, I'm not loving 3:15 games. So it's all good. They can probably tweak that. I think they could add a couple seconds to the pitch clock, honestly. And I think that might be okay. So there you go. Oh, the other thing, Tyler O'Neill. So obviously, big shocker, Tyler O'Neill's going bonkers early. Didn't we all expect that to happen? Come on now. That's a very complex topic, though. You can't just say, oh, Cardinals, they're idiots. The Cardinals definitely have to take some blame. Tyler takes some blame. I think everybody takes a little blame in this. But I think if you're being fair about it with the Cardinals, you look at it like this. First of all, everybody knows Tyler O'Neill can be great. He was great that one year. What was it, 2019? And then, what year was it? Was it 2021? I don't even remember what year it was. Whatever year that he was 8th in the MVP. Was that 21? I know he had the back-to-back Gold Gloves. So whatever it was. 2020 Gold Glove, 2021, whatever year, I think it was 2021. You guys know. Hey, just correct me. But the year he was great, 8th in the MVP, you knew he could get back to that. It's just about consistency. It's just about staying healthy for Tyler O'Neill. And I don't always want to make this about the Ollie spat, but I don't think you can ignore that with this. Look, I think it's pretty fair to say that the relationship with Tyler and Ollie, and probably Tyler and the Cardinals, became irreparable after that incident. Tyler O'Neill essentially said that when he was on foul territory. He basically said, look, it was respect at an arm's length with Ollie. And again, that wasn't about calling out a man's execution. It was calling out his manhood. It was calling out his effort, basically him as a man, him as a player. And I don't care how you feel about it. I didn't hear one player or former player say anything positive about the way that was handled from a player's perspective. Let's be real. If you're a player, that pisses you off. That would piss you off. So, look, that's on the Cardinals for making it to the point where the relationship was irreparable. Now, it's on Tyler. It's Tyler's fault that he could never stay on the field. Let's be real about it. And look, even in that incident, apparently he was running at 93% of his top sprint speed, so he's probably trying to go a little bit lighter to try to stay healthy. It is what it is. I think what I've seen fairly from Cardinal fans is basically you didn't get anything. I don't want to say anything, but your return, you had an asset, 1 year left, highly motivated guy, walk year. He doesn't stay healthy, but if he could, he can be really, really good. You got essentially a AAA arm, Nick Robertson, and the other guy. But right now, you didn't even get a major leaguer in return. And I think that's why Cardinal fans are ticked about that, and that's fair. But then the other part is it's just the big picture. If you want a little, prod and poke holes in all the arguments about Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, Tyler O'Neill, Lane Thomas, a little different, with COVID. But I think it's more of the big picture of why do all these guys, and by the way, before I say this, it's so early for Tyler O'Neill. Like, we don't know he's going to continue this. We don't know he's going to stay healthy. He could go in a slump. It's a couple weeks into the season. I'm not saying like Tyler O'Neill is just going to go crazy all year long. We shall see. But I think it's more about why are these dudes unlocking some of this potential in other places. And that's the thing. We saw it with Tyler. We knew he had it. With Adolis Garcia, Randy Arozarena, those were different stories. Lane Thomas, we saw it for a minute before he was hurt, and then it was COVID. And they made a deal there for John Lester. So, again, I'm not going to break down every single one of those transactions. But I do think it's pretty clear that the Cardinals are and have been really bad at picking the right outfielders over the last, let's say, 5 years. If you want to start with, the guys they held on to, whether it's, you trade away Bader, but I'm just talking about, Bader, O'Neill, Dylan Carlson, letting guys like, whether it's a Rosarena, Adolis Garcia walk, the Tyler O'Neill situation, just not having a good grasp of who you have in-house in terms of talent. You can't let that great talent walk out the door time after time after time, especially when you're still trying to put that outfield together. It's one thing if you have a bunch of guys, you're like, hey, we're set. But if you're searching for production from the outfield the last 5 years and you're trading it all away or you're letting it walk, that's the problem. Let me know what you think. Am I all right with that? Do you disagree? Again, the Tyler O'Neill specifically situation is very complex because he has proven it. He's in his walk year. He's always hurt. You had the situation with Ollie. It's not the same as Randy Arozarena, who never got a chance. It's not the same as Adolis Garcia, who showed potential. Kind of everybody passed on him. He unlocked his potential later. But also, what is it about the coaching staff? What is it about the organization? Maybe they're not finding some of this stuff in the big leagues when some other teams are. And again, it's also the fact that this never happened. This never used to happen. First 10, 11 years of Mozeliak, we never saw this. We never saw mistakes. We never saw guys leaving the organization and being really good elsewhere. It just started really about 5 years ago or so with Randy Arozarena, Adolis Garcia, and now Tyler O'Neill. It's very, very early. So, all right. I didn't want this video to be too long, but I was going to go to the game actually with my son, but looks like it's supposed to rain at 1. And plus, I was just getting back from being on the road, so I have so much catch up to do for work and all that, and just house stuff and that. So, all right, we'll see. I might go to the game, probably not. We'll do the podcast with Brendan either Thursday or Friday. I'm on Hot Take Central tomorrow for the second half of the show, 8:40 to 10. Let me know. Drop your comments. What do you think about the Cardinals? Are you? Oh, by the way, attendance looks really poor. What do you think about that? Let me know. What do you think of the Cardinals? Attendance, their play. Are you cool with them right at 500 right now? Should they be better? Are you worried about anybody slumping right now? Then what else? Yeah, Cardinals opening day. Nobody does it better. Give me your thoughts on Tyler O'Neill. Drop them in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe. Love you all. See ya.